The dust turned red under the afternoon sun. Not from earth. From shame, Redstone's town square had seen auctions before. Horses, cattle. Land, never a man. 7 feet of muscle and bone stood chained at the center. Wrists bleeding where iron bit deep. Dark eyes scanning faces that wouldn't meet his gaze. The crowd kept their distance. Not from the chains, from what he represented. A widow pushed through. Tiny thing in faded black. Voice cutting through whispers like a blade through silk. Don't hurt him. $85. Everything she had. For a man the law called property. A savage, a thief. A lie wrapped in righteousness. The sheriff counted coins. The crowd held its breath. And somewhere on a saloon porch, a powerful man smiled cold. Because this wasn't mercy. This was war Montana territory. 1882, where a woman's courage and a giant's silence would challenge everything a territory believed about strength, about worth, about what it means to be free. The chains were just the beginning. The dust hung thick in the afternoon air. October 15th, 1882. Redstone's town square wasn't much to speak of. Just a patch of trampled earth between the general store and the saloon. But today it was packed tighter than Sunday service. Men in worn leather and sweat-stained hats clustered like cattle before a storm. Women in calico stood at the edges with children clutching their skirts, all drawn by the same grim spectacle unfolding at the center. Sheriff Webb stood beside his prisoner, badge catching the harsh sunlight like a warning. And chained beside him stood a man who made the crowd step back without even moving. Isaac Wolf, 7 feet, 2 inches of solid muscle, Lakota blood running through veins that had seen too much, known too much loss. Dark hair fell past shoulders, broad enough to carry timber meant for 3 men. Wrists bound in iron shackles that had carved grooves into bronze skin until the flesh wept. But despite the raw wounds, despite 2 weeks in a cell barely tall enough for him to stand, he held his head high, eyes sweeping the crowd with a calm that unsettled them more than rage ever could, because they'd all seen what he could do. The way he'd lifted a wagon wheel off a trapped child last spring when 4 men couldn't budge it. The way he'd held back a spooked stallion with one hand while the owner scrambled clear. Strength like that didn't belong to regular folk. Strength like that came from somewhere the good people of Redstone didn't want to think about. At least that's what they told themselves when the fear got too loud. Sheriff Webb cleared his throat. Let his voice carry across the packed square. $50 to start. Got ourselves a genuine specimen here. Caught him stealing horses from the Vance spread. Judge says he's to be sold to cover damages. Strong as 5 oxen. Put him in the mines or breaking horses. A ripple passed through the gathering. Words flying like stones thrown at a chained animal. Savage beast. Should have hanged him. Isaac never flinched. Just kept his eyes moving, taking in faces, memorizing who spat, who looked away, who stared with something that might have been pity, but wouldn't translate into help when it mattered. Webb raised his voice, playing to the crowd now. Showman instinct taking over. Will give me 50 for this strong back. Lord knows these people are good with animals. From the back of the crowd a voice cut through the murmurs, sharp as a rifle crack. Clear as mountain water, don't hurt him. Heads turned as one. A collective gasp rippling outward from the center like waves from a stone dropped in, still water. Through the parting bodies came a woman, 5'4" if she stretched. Widow's black that had faded to charcoal gray after 3 years of Montana sun and hard water. Blonde hair pulled back so tight it looked like it hurt. Blue eyes that blazed with something the crowd couldn't name, couldn't understand, couldn't accept. Anna Hayes, known around Redstone as the widow who'd lost her mind along with her husband. Robert Hayes had caught fever 3 Octobers back, died in 4 days despite everything Doc Patterson tried, left her the ranch. 200 acres of prime grazing land that was slowly going to seed. A house that needed work, a barn that needed more, and a spine made of pure Montana stubbornness that wouldn't bend no matter how hard the wind blew. She'd refused to sell when Caleb Vance came calling with his checkbook and his smooth words. Refused to remarry when half the Valley bachelors showed up with flowers and proposals that smelled more like pity than love. Refused to go back east where her sister Margaret kept writing letters that got more desperate with each passing month. Just stayed out there on that failing ranch, watching it crumble degree by degree, watching the town whisper behind their hands, watching her money run out and her options narrow until there was nothing left but pride and dirt. Now she stood in the center of Redstone's judgment. Tiny thing carrying herself like she owned the whole territory. I'll buy him. The silence that followed was absolute. Not even the horses shifted in their traces. Not even the wind dared move. Sheriff Webb's mustache twitched, amusement dancing behind his eyes, but trying not to show because this was official business and he had a reputation. Now, Mrs. Hayes, this ain't no church charity case. This here's a dangerous. I said I'll buy him. Anna reached into her worn leather purse. The one Robert had given her on their 5th anniversary, back when they still thought they had time. She pulled out a cloth bundle and held it up. Let the afternoon sun catch the silver coins inside so everyone could see. So no one could claim later they didn't know what she was doing. Here's $85. Everything I have. The crowd erupted, voices overlapping in a cacophony of shock and moral outrage. Anna, have you lost your senses? Mrs. Patterson, the banker's wife, face red as a beet and twice as sour. You can't bring that creature onto your property. He's a thief, a savage, could kill you in your sleep. Anna's jaw set at that particular angle. The one Robert used to laugh about. The one that meant argument was pointless, and surrender wasn't in her vocabulary. Call him what you want. I see a man worth saving. For the first time, something flickered in Isaac's eyes. Surprise, maybe. Or something deeper that had been buried under years of being treated like livestock. Like property. Like something less than human. Sheriff Webb shifted his weight, uncomfortable now, because this wasn't how these things usually went. Wasn't how they were supposed to go. Mrs. Hayes, I got a responsibility to this town. You got a responsibility to the law, Anna interrupted, calm as Sunday morning, voice carrying that particular quality that came from 3 years of arguing with bank officers and tax collectors, and men who thought widows were easy targets. The judge said he was to be sold. I'm buying, unless you're telling me my money's no good because I'm a woman. That struck a nerve. Webb's face went red as autumn leaves. But he couldn't argue. Not when half the town was watching. Not when the territorial circuit judge had just passed through last week and made it clear he wanted things done proper and legal. Fine. Webb snatched the bundle from her hand, counted the coins with exaggerated care, clearly hoping to find her short. When the count came up true, his scowl deepened like a canyon after spring melt. Bill of sale will be at my office. You can collect it and him in an hour. Anna nodded once. Short, efficient. A woman who'd learned to take what she could get and not waste time on empty victories. I'll take him now. Now see here. I've paid for him. He's my property now. As you so crudely put it. I'll take him now. Or you can explain to Judge Harrison why you held on to him after the sale was complete. The threat of involving the circuit judge made Webb's protest die in his throat, like a fish on dry land. With visible reluctance, he produced a key, unlocked the shackles around Isaac's ankles, but left the wrist restraints, probably hoping Anna wouldn't push her luck further. The rest come off when I get the bill of sale. Anna's voice went quiet, the dangerous kind that Robert used to recognize as the moment before the storm. All of them now. Ma'am, I can't just. Sheriff Webb. Anna stepped closer. Small woman staring up at a man twice her size, like David facing Goliath, with nothing but certainty for a sling. You've taken my money. The transaction is complete. Either you remove those restraints, or I file a complaint with the territorial marshal about unlawful detention after legal purchase. The crowd had gone silent again. Because Anna Hayes, knowing territorial law wasn't something they'd expected, wasn't something that fit their image of the grieving widow who didn't know when to quit. Webb's hand shook as he unlocked the wrist shackles. The iron fell away, hit the dirt with a dull thud that seemed to echo across the square like thunder in the distance. Isaac rubbed his wrists, slow, careful, like he couldn't quite believe they were free. The raw grooves in his skin wept clear fluid that caught the light. But he didn't wince, didn't make a sound. Just lowered his hands and looked at Anna, really looked, like he was trying to solve a puzzle written in a language he'd forgotten how to read. Anna turned to him, voice gentler now, but still carrying that iron underneath. That spine that wouldn't bend. Come with me. She didn't wait for an answer, just started walking. And after a long moment, Isaac followed. 7'2" of muscle and bone moving through the crowd, with a grace that shouldn't have been possible for someone that size. The people parted, Red Sea making way for Moses and his followers, but their faces showed nothing like reverence, disgust painted in broad strokes, shock etched in deep lines. Moral outrage wearing the mask of concern. You'll regret this, Clara, Mrs. Patterson again. Never could keep her opinions to herself. Mark my words. Anna didn't turn around. Just kept walking with her head high, and her purchased man following 3 steps behind. The only thing I'd regret is standing by while you all treat a human being like livestock. Old Samuel Turnus, the blacksmith, shook his grizzled head like he was watching someone walk into a fire. That woman's gonna get herself killed. Them savages can't be civilized. It's not in their nature. But young Ethan Reed, the blacksmith's son, 19 and still soft around the edges where life hadn't worn him down yet, he watched Anna and Isaac disappear down the dusty street with thoughtful eyes. Maybe it's our nature that needs civilizing. His father cuffed him, sharp, across the ear, hard enough to leave a mark. Don't let me hear such talk from you again, boy. That kind of thinking will see you run out of town. Or worse, at the edge of the crowd, standing on the saloon porch where he'd been watching the whole spectacle unfold. Caleb Vance took a long drag on his cigar, let the smoke curl up into the afternoon sky while he calculated, plotted, planned. 45 years old, gray at the temples, eyes like winter ice over a frozen lake, owned more land than any 3 families combined, wore his wealth in tailored vests and polished boots, carried himself like a man who'd never heard the word no and didn't plan to start now. He'd made Anna 3 offers on her ranch, each one lower than the last, thinking desperation would make her pliable, make her see reason, make her understand that widows didn't keep ranches. They sold them to men who knew what to do with land. But Anna Hayes kept saying no, kept clinging to that failing property, like it was the last piece of her dead husband she had left. And now she'd just spent everything she had on a 7-foot savage. Made herself an even bigger target, put herself further into a corner where Caleb could work. He smiled, cold, calculating. Took another drag on his cigar. This would be easier than he thought. Anna and Isaac walked toward the sheriff's office in silence. The weight of the town's judgment pressing down like a physical thing. Heavy, suffocating. Anna could feel eyes on her back, could hear whispers that weren't quite quiet enough, could sense the shift in how Redstone saw her before she'd been the pitied widow. Object of charity and clucking tongues. Now she was something else, something dangerous. Something that broke the unspoken rules. They reached Webb's office, squat building that served as jail and administrative center and general reminder that law existed even this far from civilization. Anna pushed the door open. Isaac followed. Silent, Webb was already inside, scratching out the bill of sale with obvious reluctance. Every stroke of the pen a protest. You sure about this, Mrs. Hayes? Last chance question. Final opportunity to back out and salvage her reputation. It ain't too late to change your mind. I could find another buyer. Maybe someone better equipped to handle. Just write the bill, Sheriff. Webb sighed. Completed the document. Stamped it harder than necessary. Like the force of the stamp might change her mind there. May the Lord help you, because you surely ain't helping yourself. Anna took the paper. Folded it carefully. Tucked it into her purse next to the now empty coin bundle. The keys, Sheriff. Webb tossed them. Disgusted. Wanted no part of this madness anymore. Don't come crying to me when he slits your throat in your sleep. Anna's eyes flashed. That particular blue that turned to ice when she was angry. The only throat that's been cut in this town lately was by Bob Harmon when he was drunk, and he's as white as fresh cotton. Good day, Sheriff. She turned, walked out, her purchased man following. Once outside, Anna stopped, faced Isaac directly for the first time since the auction. I'm going to unlock these now. She held up the key Webb had thrown. I don't expect you'll run. Where would you go? But I won't keep you in chains like an animal. She reached for his wrists. He held them out, slow, watching her with those unreadable dark eyes that had seen too much. Known too much loss, the key turned. Rusty protest from metal that had been locked too long. The shackles fell away, hit the wooden walkway with a clang that echoed down the empty street. Isaac rubbed his wrists. First truly human gesture she'd seen from him. Red welts and scabs marked where the iron had bitten deep. The wounds were fresh, infected at the edges. Would need tending. Will need to tend to those. Anna kept her voice matter of fact. Like this was normal. Like she bought 7-foot men at auction every day. I have salve at the ranch. It's about an hour's ride. Can you ride? The ghost of something touched his lips. Not quite a smile, but close. He nodded once. Good. The livery's this way. They walked through town toward the stable. Anna held her head high, refused to look at the people staring, refused to acknowledge the whispers that followed like flies after honey. She'd crossed a line today, knew there'd be no going back to being just the widow Hayes. Now she was something else. Something the town would talk about for years, for better or worse. The livery stable smelled of hay and leather and horse. Familiar, comforting. Anna's mare, Rosie, nickered soft when she approached. Old Bay, who'd been with her since before Robert died. I'll need to borrow a mount for him, Timothy, the stable hand. Couldn't have been more than 14. He stared at Isaac like he'd sprouted horns and breathed fire. Ma'am, I don't know if I'll pay double the usual rate, and I'll have him back by sunset. Timothy swallowed hard, Adam's apple bobbing. Looked at Isaac, at Anna, back to Isaac. Finally nodded because arguing with Anna Hayes was like arguing with a summer storm. Pointless and likely to leave you wet. Yes, ma'am. He saddled up a big roan gelding, strong enough to carry Isaac's weight without breaking. The horse shied at first, whites of his eyes showing, ears pinned back. But Isaac put one massive hand on the animal's neck, breathed soft, made low sounds that weren't quite words but carried meaning anyway. The horse calmed, settled, let Isaac mount without protest. Timothy's eyes went wide. He really is good with animals. Anna shot him a look. He's good with a lot of things. You'd be surprised. They rode out of Redstone in silence, past the church where Reverend Polk was surely already composing Sunday's sermon about the dangers of misguided charity, past the saloon where men would spend the evening discussing Anna's lunacy over whiskey and cards, past the house where curtains twitched, where good Christian women watched and judged and thanked God they weren't fool enough to do what Anna Hayes had done. Anna didn't care. Let them talk. She'd stopped listening to Redstone's opinion 3 years ago, when they'd suggested she sell and remarry, and stop embarrassing herself by trying to run a ranch alone. The road to the Hayes Ranch wound through scrub pine and sage. Dust kicked up from the horse's hooves, hung in the air like memories that wouldn't settle. Anna glanced at Isaac riding beside her. He sat the roan easy, natural like he'd been born to it, which he probably had, but he kept his eyes moving, scanning, always watching for threats, for escape routes, for whatever came next. She cleared her throat. You don't have to be afraid. His eyes cut to her. Sharp. I'm not afraid. First words he'd spoken directly to her. His voice was deep, rough from disuse, but the English was perfect. No accent, no broken grammar, just clear, precise, educated. Anna's eyebrows went up. You speak well, mission school. 3 years his jaw tightened, muscle jumping. They beat us when we spoke our own tongue, so I learned theirs. Learned it perfect, so they'd have one less reason. He looked away, didn't help. Anna's chest tightened. I'm sorry, don't be. You didn't put me there. They rode in silence for a while, just the sound of hooves on hard-packed earth, the creak of leather, the occasional bird calling from the pines. Then Anna spoke again, soft, like she was testing ice on a frozen pond. What should I call you? I don't even know your name. He was quiet so long she thought he wouldn't answer. Then, Isaac. They gave me Isaac at the mission. But my people called me something else. Before everything changed. He didn't elaborate, and Anna didn't push. Some wounds needed time, some stories needed trust. Some things couldn't be forced. The Hayes Ranch appeared as they crested the final hill. And Anna felt the familiar tightness in her chest, the shame mixed with determination. The knowledge that what she was bringing him to wasn't much, wasn't what it used to be, wasn't what Robert had dreamed it would become. Even in the golden light of late afternoon, there was no hiding what the place had become. The main house listed to the east, just a degree or two, but enough to notice if you knew what to look for. Unpainted boards, weathered to the color of old bones. Half the fence posts along the front pasture had given up their fight with gravity. Gaps wide enough for cattle to wander through. If she'd had any cattle left to wander. She glanced at Isaac, watched him survey the property with those dark, calculating eyes, taking in every broken board, every weed-choked garden bed, every sign of slow collapse. Anna waited for the judgment, for the disappointment, for the moment when he'd realize he'd been bought by someone who couldn't even take care of a ranch, much less a 7-foot man who'd need feeding, clothing, protection from a town that wanted him gone. But Isaac just nodded, like he'd seen worse, like this was salvageable. Like it wasn't the end of something, but maybe the beginning. It wasn't always like this. The words slipped out before Anna could stop them, and she immediately wished she hadn't. What did it matter what he thought? They dismounted near the barn. Or what remained of it. The structure stood, barely. Roof patched with mismatched shingles and tar paper that Robert had put up 2 summers before he died. Anna led Rosie inside, grateful that at least this duty she could still perform properly. Isaac followed, and without being asked, started removing the saddle from the roan. His movements were efficient, practiced, like he'd done this 1,000 times. Like caring for horses was as natural as breathing. Anna watched from the corner of her eye. The way his massive hands worked the buckles, the way his shoulders rolled under the worn shirt. The sheer size of him in the enclosed space. He should have seemed threatening, should have made her nervous. Instead, she felt something she hadn't experienced in 3 long years save, which was ridiculous. She didn't know this man, didn't know what he was capable of, didn't know if the town was right and bringing him here was suicide wrapped in good intentions, but something in her gut, something deeper than logic, deeper than fear, said he wouldn't hurt her. Inside the house, Anna lit the oil lamp against gathering dusk. Yellow light revealed a space that was clean but sparse. Table with 2 chairs, wood stove that had seen better days, shelves holding a meager collection of dishes and preserves. On the mantel above the cold fireplace sat a single photograph in a tarnished frame. Robert, frozen forever at 28. Smile confident, eyes full of plans that would never be realized. Dreams that died with him in a bed that still smelled like fever and failure. You can sleep in the barn. Anna kept her back to Isaac. Couldn't look at him while she said it. There's fresh hay in the loft. Blankets in the trunk by the door. I'll bring supper out when it's ready. She busied herself at the stove, aware of him standing motionless by the door. When she finally turned, he was looking at the photograph. My husband, voice quiet now, grief threading through the words like cracks in old glass. Robert. He died 3 winters ago. Isaac nodded slow, then moved toward the door. Just before he left, he paused, looked back at her, and his lips moved. Careful, like remembering how to form words that mattered. Thank you deep. Rusty. Real. Then he was gone, leaving Anna standing alone in her kitchen, one hand pressed to her chest where her heart hammered against her ribs, because something had just shifted, something fundamental, something that scared her more than Caleb Vance, more than the failing ranch, more than 3 more winters alone. Supper was simple. Beans and cornbread. Last of the preserved peaches from 2 summers ago. Anna carried the tray to the barn, found Isaac sitting on a bale of hay, working something in his hands. As she drew closer, she saw it was a piece of harness. Broken buckle being mended with surprising dexterity. Those massive hands moving with precision that shouldn't have been possible. You don't have to. She set the tray down. But he looked up, and there was something almost like amusement in his eyes. I know. So why? He glanced around the barn, at the tools that needed organizing, the tack that needed mending, the 100 small repairs that had piled up over 3 years of trying to do everything alone. Because I'm here. Because the work is here. Because sitting still makes me think too much. Anna understood that. God knew she understood that. She'd spent 3 years working herself to exhaustion just so she could fall into bed too tired to think, too tired to remember, too tired to feel. They ate in companionable silence, the barn cats emerging from hiding spots to investigate the stranger. One brave tabby rubbed against Isaac's leg, and Anna saw his hand drop. Stroked the animal's head with unexpected gentleness, large hands, careful touch. Like he knew his own strength. Like he'd learned young what happened when you didn't control it. When the food was gone, Anna stood to leave. Paused at the barn door. Tomorrow we can assess what needs fixing. Make a plan. I can't pay wages. You understand that? I understand, just room and board. For now. For now is enough. She nodded. Started to turn, then stopped. Isaac? Yes? Thank you for staying. Where else would I go? The question hung in the air, rhetorical but heavy with truth. Because where could a 7-foot Lakota man go in Montana territory? Where would he be welcome? Where would he be safe? Nowhere. Good night then. Good night, Anna. Hearing her name in his voice did something strange to her chest. Made it tight and warm and uncomfortable all at once. That night, Anna lay awake listening to the familiar creaks and groans of the old house. But underneath those sounds was something new. The knowledge that she wasn't alone on the ranch for the first time in 3 years. It should have frightened her. Everyone in town certainly expected her to be frightened. Instead, she felt something she couldn't quite name. Not peace exactly. but maybe the possibility of it. Morning came with a list of necessities. October 16th. One day after the auction, Anna stood in her kitchen with pencil in hand trying to prioritize repairs that all seemed equally urgent. Roof leaked in 3 places. Well pump needed new leather washers. Chicken coop had a hole that let in foxes. Garden fence couldn't keep out rabbits. And underlying it all was the constant need for money she didn't have. Money she'd just spent on a man, instead of the supplies that would keep them both alive through winter. A soft knock at the door interrupted her thoughts. Isaac stood on the porch, hair tied back, wearing the same clothes from yesterday, but somehow looking more settled. Like he'd decided something during the night. He gestured toward the barn, then at himself, then made a motion like swinging a hammer. "You want to work?" He nodded. "I can't pay you. You understand that?" Heat rose in her cheeks. "I mean food and shelter. That's all I can offer." Isaac held up his hands, showed her the welts from the shackles, now cleaned but still angry looking. Then he pointed to the house, to her, and nodded again. The message was clear. She'd freed him. That was payment enough. Anna found herself blinking back, sudden tears. "You're going to make me cry and it's not even breakfast yet." Isaac's lips quirked, almost a smile. "Then is good time. Get crying done early." She laughed, surprised. He has a sense of humor. Who knew? She showed him the tool shed. Robert's tools still hanging in their places, gathering dust and rust and memories. Isaac examined each one carefully, testing edges and joints, setting aside those that needed repair. When he found the whetstone, he looked at her questioningly. "Yes, of course. Whatever you need to use." The words came out choked. Because these were Robert's tools, Robert's legacy, and here was this stranger using them, making them sing again. By midday, the rhythmic sound of hammer on wood filled the air. Anna went about her chores, feeding the chickens, tending what remained of the vegetable garden, but her attention kept drifting to where Isaac worked. He'd started with the fence, and already a section that had been leaning drunkenly for months was standing straight and true. She watched him lift a post that would have taken 2 men to carry, watched him set it in the hole like it weighed nothing, watched muscle shift under skin as he tamped the earth down with a precision that spoke of years doing this kind of work. 7'2", 290 pounds, pure strength being used to fix her fence, instead of the 100 other things that size and power could be used for. When she brought him water at noon, he drank deeply, then surprised her by speaking. "Good tools. Your man knew iron." Robert was particular. Anna managed to keep her voice steady, said a man was only as good as what he worked with. Isaac considered this, then nodded approvingly. Wise. They stood in the shade of an old cottonwood. The silence between them wasn't uncomfortable, just present, real. 2 people getting used to sharing space. Finally Anna spoke. "Can I ask you something?" Isaac's eyes found hers. "You can ask. Why didn't you fight? At the auction, you could have broken those chains, could have hurt people. Why didn't you?" He looked down at his hands, large, scarred, capable of terrible things if he chose, because that's what they expect. The savage who fights, who proves them right. He met her gaze. "I learned young. Fight and lose, they kill you. Fight and win, they kill you slower. Only way to survive is be what they don't expect." "What's that?" "Patient." Anna studied him. This man who'd been chained, beaten, sold, and he called it patience. That must have been hard. Isaac's smile held no humor. "Everything is hard. You choose which hard you can live with." They worked through the afternoon. Anna weeding the garden that had gone wild without regular tending. Isaac on the fence making 3 years of neglect disappear section by section. The sun tracked across the sky, heat rising then fading as evening approached. When Anna brought him coffee around sunset, he'd finished the entire front pasture. 200 feet of fence line. Straight, true, strong. Work that should have taken a week done in 1 day. "You didn't have to do all this." Isaac accepted the coffee. "Had to do something. Sit still too long and the thoughts come." "What thoughts?" His face closed. "Old ones. Dead ones. Better left buried." Anna understood that too. Better than he knew. She had her own thoughts that came in the quiet moments. Her own ghosts that needed outrunning. That evening they ate at the kitchen table. Anna had insisted. "Wouldn't feel right making you eat in the barn when there's a table here." Isaac had hesitated, unsure if this was proper, if this crossed some line, but finally agreed. Now he sat across from her, impossibly large in the small chair, eating simple stew with careful precision, like he was remembering how to be human, how to sit at a table, How to eat with someone instead of alone in the dark. Anna watched him. Not staring, just noticing. The way his hands dwarfed the spoon, the way he ate slow, savoring. Like he hadn't had a real meal in longer than she wanted to imagine. Your husband. How's did he die? The question was gentle, but it still made Anna's breath catch fever. 3 years ago this October, came on fast. He was sick 3 days. Her voice went flat. Memory draining the emotion out. I tried everything. Every remedy I knew. Prayers. Bargaining with God. Nothing worked. She looked down at her hands. He died in our bed, holding my hand, telling me to be strong. I am sorry. Don't be. You didn't kill him. Still, loss is loss. I know how it carves pieces out of you. Anna's eyes snapped up. You've lost people. Isaac's voice was quiet. My father. Chief of our band. My mother. Healer. Wise woman. My sister. 14 summers. All gone. Cavalry. 7 years back. Another band attacked some settlers. Soldiers didn't care which tribe. Came for revenge. His jaw worked. Muscle jumping. I was hunting. 2 days away. When I came back, village was ash. Found my mother's body. She'd tried to shield my sister. They shot through her. Killed them both. Anna's breath caught. Isaac, I'm so sorry. He shrugged like it didn't matter. But she could see it did. Could see the weight of it pressing down on shoulders broad enough to carry the world, but not broad enough for that kind of grief. I tracked the soldiers. 3 days. Wanted blood. Wanted them to burn like my village burned. What stopped you? I found them. Made camp near a stream. And they had children, wives, families. He looked at his hands again. I could have killed them, easily. But then I'd become the monster they named me. So I walked away. Let them live. Let the hate eat me instead of them. That must have been hard, harder than dying. Because dying would have been quick. Walking away meant carrying it. Every day. For 7 years, Anna reached across the table. Took his massive hand in both of hers. I'm glad you walked away. Why? Because if you hadn't, you wouldn't be here. And I needed you to be here. Isaac looked at their joined hands. At the contrast. Her small pale fingers against his large bronze ones. You needed a worker. No, Anna's voice was firm. I needed someone who understood. Understood what? What it's like to lose everything. To keep going anyway, to wake up each day and choose not to give up even when giving up would be easier. They sat like that, hands joined across the table, until the lamp burned low, until the weight of the day finally pressed them towards sleep. Anna stood. I should let you get some rest. Isaac stood too, filled the doorway, made the whole house feel smaller. Anna, yes? Thank you. For today, for the food, for seeing me. She smiled, soft, real. Thank you for staying. He nodded, then slipped out into the night. Anna stood alone in her kitchen, heart beating faster than it should, because something was changing. Something she wasn't ready to name, but couldn't deny. October 17th. Morning broke cold and clear. Anna woke to the sound of chopping. She moved to the window. Saw Isaac behind the barn splitting wood, the axe rising and falling in steady rhythm. Each swing precise, powerful, the pile growing. She dressed quickly, made coffee. When she brought it out to him, he paused, set the axe aside, accepted the cup with a nod of thanks. They stood in the morning light, steam rising from their mugs, breath misting in the cold air. We should go to town today. Anna said it casual, but her stomach was tight. I'll need supplies, tools mainly, nails, maybe some lumber. Isaac's eyes lifted. They will not like seeing me there. I know then why. Because hiding you away like you're something shameful defeats the whole purpose. And what is the purpose? Anna met his gaze, showing Redstone that you're a man. Not a thing, not property. A man who works, who eats, who lives. Isaac's expression shifted, something raw flickering across his features before he could hide it. You are either very brave or very foolish. Anna smiled. Robert used to say the same thing. They saddled the horses, rode out as the sun climbed higher. The road to Redstone was quiet. Just the sound of hooves and leather, and 2 people trying to prepare for judgment. As they approached town, Anna's tension ratcheted higher. But Isaac rode easy. Like this was just another day. Like he wasn't riding into the mouth of a place that hated him. They entered Redstone just after noon, and the street went quiet. Conversations stopped mid-sentence. People froze, stared. A woman pulled her child close, like Isaac might snatch the boy just riding past. Anna kept her head high, rode straight to the general store, dismounted, tied Rosie to the rail. Isaac did the same with the roan. The size difference was stark. Anna barely came up to his chest, but she walked into that store like she owned it. And Isaac followed. Inside was dim, cool, smelled of coffee and tobacco and leather. Mr. Bradley stood behind the counter, face going red when he saw who'd entered. Mrs. Hayes, his voice was tight. "What can I do for you?" "I need supplies. Nails, washers for the well pump, some flour and salt if you have it." Bradley's eyes cut to Isaac, then back to Anna. "I don't serve his kind." Anna's voice went cold. "His kind? You mean paying customers? Now see here, Mr. Bradley, my money is as good as anyone's. And unless you want to explain to the Territorial Trade Commission why you're refusing legal commerce, I suggest you fill my order." The threat hung in the air, because territorial trade commissions didn't look kindly on merchants who discriminated. Not when there was money to be made. Bradley's jaw worked. But he started gathering items, slapping them on the counter harder than necessary. As he worked, the door opened. Young Ethan Reed stepped in, saw Anna and Isaac. His face split in a smile. "Mrs. Hayes." "Mr. Wolf." Isaac's eyebrows rose slightly at being called Mr. At being called by name, Ethan approached, ignored his father Samuel's glare from where he was examining horseshoes in the corner. "I heard what you did yesterday, taking him from the auction. That took courage, or foolishness," Bradley muttered it. But Ethan ignored him. "I think it was the right thing, and I wanted you to know. Not everyone in Redstone thinks you're crazy." Anna felt her throat tighten. "Thank you, Ethan. That means more than you know." The young man nodded, then did something unexpected. Extended his hand to Isaac. "Welcome to Redstone." Proper welcome. Isaac stared at the offered hand, like he couldn't quite believe it was real. Then slowly, carefully, he reached out, shook, his massive hand swallowing Ethan's "thank you." 2 words, but they carried weight. Bradley finished packing Anna's supplies, gave her a total that was probably higher than it should have been. But Anna paid, took her parcels. Isaac carried the heavy ones, which was all of them. Back outside, the street was still quiet. But now there were more people, watching, whispering, judging. Anna loaded the supplies, turned to Mount Rosie, and found Caleb Vance blocking her path. Caleb Vance, dressed in his tailored vest and polished boots, cigar in hand. Smile playing at his lips, but nothing warm reaching those winter ice eyes. "Anna, lovely to see you in town." His voice was smooth, practiced. "Mr. Vance." She kept her tone neutral. "I heard about your purchase yesterday." His eyes flicked to Isaac standing silent beside the horses. "Quite the investment." "He's a worker, not an investment." Caleb's smile widened, sharpened. "Of course, worker. That's what we're calling it." Anna's hands fisted. But she kept her voice level. "Was there something you needed, Mr. Vance? Or are you just here to block my way?" "Actually, yes. I wanted to make you an offer. One final time, I've told you. The ranch isn't for sale." Caleb stepped closer, not threatening exactly, but close enough to invade her space, close enough to remind her he was bigger, stronger, richer. "Anna, be reasonable. You're drowning out there. 3 years alone. The place is falling apart." He lowered his voice. "Confidential. I'm offering you a way out. Fair price. You could go back east. Start fresh. Stop this charade. It's not a charade. It's my home. It was Robert's home. He's dead. You're just haunting it." The words hit like a slap. Anna felt her breath catch, but she didn't back down. "Get out of my way." Caleb's expression hardened. "You're making a mistake. Winter's coming. You think that savage is going to keep you warm? Keep you fed?" Isaac moved then, not aggressive. Just shifted his weight, stepped slightly closer to Anna. The message was clear, the threat implicit in 7 feet 2 inches of muscle, placing itself between a woman and danger. Caleb's eyes narrowed. "Careful, boy. Threatening a white man in broad daylight. That's a hanging offense." Isaac's voice was low, calm, deadly quiet. "I'm not threatening, just standing with my employer. Unless you have a problem with that." The street had gone silent. Everyone watching now, waiting to see if Caleb would back down or escalate. He chose the middle ground, stepped back, brushed imaginary dust from his vest. "No problem at all. Just trying to help a widow in need." He looked at Anna. "When this falls apart, and it will, don't expect help from decent folk." Then he turned, walked back to where his horse was tied, mounted, rode off without looking back. But not before Anna saw his foreman, Hank Coulter, watching from the saloon porch, hand resting on his gun, making sure everyone saw, making sure everyone knew Caleb Vance had eyes everywhere. And Anna Hayes had just made an enemy of the most powerful man in the valley. Anna's hands shook as she mounted Rosie. Isaac swung up onto the roan, silent as stone. They rode out of Redstone with the weight of 100 stairs pressing down, once they were clear of town. Once the buildings faded behind them, Anna let out a breath she didn't know she'd been holding. That was Caleb Vance. Isaac nodded. Already figured. He wants the ranch. Been trying to buy it since Robert died, because it connects his land, north pasture to south. Without your property, he has to ride an extra 5 miles to move cattle. Anna glanced over. Surprised. How did you know that? I listen. In the jail, in the auction. People talk like I'm not there, like I can't understand. But I hear everything. He looked at her. Your ranch is the key. He'll do anything to get it. Atna's stomach tightened. I won't sell. Not to him. Not to anyone. Then he'll try other ways. Like what? Isaac's jaw worked. Fire. Stampede. Accidents that look natural. Or he'll wait for winter. Let you freeze. Let you starve. Then make an offer when you're desperate enough to take anything. You're cheerful. I'm practical. I've seen men like him before. They don't take no for an answer. They just change tactics. Anna rode in silence. Then, so what do? We make the ranch strong enough that he can't break it. Fix everything. Build everything. Make it so you don't need to sell. No matter what he does, that's a lot of work. Isaac's lips quirked. Good thing you bought someone strong. They made it back to the ranch by mid-afternoon. Anna set to unloading supplies while Isaac tended the horses. When he came into the kitchen, she had coffee waiting, and something else. A small cloth bundle on the table. Isaac looked at it. Then at her. What's this? Open it. He did. Careful, like it might break. Inside was a shirt, not new, but clean, mended. One of Robert's. I thought yours is pretty worn, and Robert, he's not using his anymore. Her voice cracked slightly. You're about the same height. Though he was thinner, Isaac held up the shirt. It would still be tight across his shoulders. But it would fit, thank you. There's more. Pants. Socks. I washed them all. They're yours if you want them. Isaac's throat worked. Anna, you don't have to. I know, but I want to. She turned away, busied herself with the coffee pot. Besides, it's good to see his things used. Better than them sitting in a trunk collecting dust. Isaac set the shirt down gently, reverently. Your husband, you loved him, it wasn't a question. But Anna answered anyway. Yes, very much. Tell me about him. Anna poured 2 cups, handed one to Isaac, sat across from him at the table that had become their space, their ritual. Robert was good, kind, had big dreams about this place. Wanted to raise the finest horses in Montana, and he got 3 years before fever took him. She stared into her coffee. We had 12 horses then. Now I have 2. Isaac sipped his coffee. Your husband knew you wouldn't quit. How do you know? Because you're still here. And that takes a special kind of stubborn. Anna laughed despite herself. That's what everyone says. They sat in comfortable silence. Then Isaac pulled something from his pocket. A small leather pouch worn soft with age. I have something too. He opened it. Drew out a white arrowhead, perfectly shaped. Beautiful, my mother made this. Last thing she created before the soldiers came. He held it out to Anna. Among my people, when a man gives such a gift to a woman, it means protection, connection. And if she accepts, it means she's willing to be courted. Anna's breath caught. Isaac, are you? I know this is complicated. You're my employer. I'm what I am, and the valley will never accept it. He paused. But I wanted you to know, if things were different, if we were different, I would court you properly. Things are what they are. Anna took the arrowhead, let it rest in her palm. And I'm accepting this. Not because things are different, but because they're exactly what they are. She met his eyes. Court me, Isaac. Properly or improperly. I don't care which. Anna, his voice was rough. I love you. The confession hung in the air. Simple. Direct. True. Anna stood, moved around the table, took Isaac's face in her hands, made him look at her. I love you too. And I don't care what Redstone thinks about it. Then she kissed him, tentative at first, testing. Then Isaac made a sound low in his throat, pulled her closer, and the kiss deepened, became something desperate. Years of loneliness pouring out. When they finally pulled apart, both breathing hard, Anna whispered, "Stay in the house, not the barn. I don't want you out there anymore. Anna, that's not proper. Neither is anything else we're doing." True. Isaac smiled against her hair. Separate rooms. For now. Anna's smile was wicked for now. That night, October 17th, turned to October 18th. Anna lay in bed, listening to Isaac move in the room across the hall. The creak of floorboards under his weight. The rustle of blankets. The sounds of another person living, breathing, existing in her space. And for the first time in 3 years, the house didn't feel empty. Didn't feel like a tomb. It felt like a home. And outside in the darkness, Caleb Vance sat in his study, drinking whiskey, planning his next move. Because Anna Hayes had just made this personal. And Caleb Vance always won in the end. October 19th dawned cold enough to frost the windows. Anna woke to the smell of coffee already brewing. Found Isaac in the kitchen making breakfast like it was the most natural thing in the world. Eggs, toast, fresh coffee steaming in the pot. You cook? Mission school taught many things. He set a plate in front of her, gestured for her to sit, eat. Long day ahead, Anna obeyed, watched him move around her kitchen with surprising grace for someone his size. He'd pulled his hair back, wore one of Robert's shirts that stretched tight across his shoulders. Looked more settled than he had 3 days ago. Like he was starting to believe this might last. She hoped he was right. They worked through the morning. Isaac on the barn roof patching the worst leaks before winter. Anna in the garden salvaging what vegetables had survived her neglect. The sound of hammering was steady, rhythmic, almost comforting. Around noon, Anna heard horses, multiple horses approaching fast. She straightened, hand going to the small of her back where a stitch had formed. Isaac was already climbing down from the roof. Moving fast despite the 20-foot drop, he landed light, reached her side just as 3 riders came into view. Not Caleb this time. Worse Reverend Polk, thin, severe, eyes like judgment carved in stone. And flanking him the Harmon brothers, Jeb and Pete, known around Redstone for being drunk more often than sober. Mean even when they weren't. Anna's stomach dropped, but she stepped forward anyway. This was her ranch, her fight. Reverend Polk. Gentlemen, can I help you? Polk dismounted. Stiff, formal, like he was about to deliver a sermon, Mrs. Hayes. We've come as concerned members of the community. Concerned about what? Your immortal soul. Anna bit back a laugh. My soul is fine, Reverend. Thank you for asking. Is it? Polk stepped closer. You're living out here alone with a heathen. People are talking, saying things that aren't fit for Christian ears. Then perhaps they should stop talking. This isn't a joke, Mrs. Hayes. You're bringing shame on yourself, on Robert's memory, on the entire town. I'm employing a worker. He sleeps in the house now, yes, but we have separate rooms. We've broken no laws. The law of God supersedes man's law. Polk's voice took on that preaching cadence he used from the pulpit. You must send him away before it's too late. Before the stain on your reputation becomes permanent. Jeb Harmon spat tobacco juice near her garden. Ain't natural, white woman keeping a savage. Anna's temper flared hot and bright. Mr. Harmon, you're on my property. Either show respect or leave. Or what? Pete Harmon grinned. Showed brown teeth. You gonna have your pet Indian hurt us? Isaac hadn't moved, hadn't spoken, but his presence was a wall, 7 feet 2 inches high, between Anna and the men who'd come to threaten her. I'm asking you nicely. Leave my property. Anna's voice was ice over deep water. Polk shook his head, disappointed like a father with a wayward child. We tried reason. We tried Christian charity. Now we'll try something else. Is that a threat, Reverend? It's a promise. God's judgment falls on the wicked, and those who consort with heathens. When winter comes, when you're cold and hungry and alone, don't expect help from good people. He mounted his horse, the Harmon brothers following suit. But not before Jeb threw something. A stone, aimed at Isaac. It hit his shoulder hard enough to make a sound. Hard enough to hurt. Isaac didn't flinch. Just watched them ride off, silent, still. When they were out of sight, Anna turned to him. Are you all right? Fine. Let me see it's nothing. Isaac. Her tone brooked no argument. He sighed, pulled his shirt aside. A bruise was already forming. Dark against bronze skin. They'll be back. I know, with more than stones. I know that, too. Anna's hand shook as she touched the bruise. Gently, I'm sorry. This is my fault. I brought you here. Made you a target. Isaac caught her hand. Held it against his chest where she could feel his heart beating steady and strong. You gave me freedom. They gave me stones. I know which matters more. But Anna couldn't shake the fear that had settled in her gut like ice. Because Reverend Polk didn't make empty threats. And the Harmon brothers were mean enough sober. She didn't want to think about what they'd do drunk and encouraged. That night, Anna retrieved Robert's shotgun from above the mantel, cleaned it, loaded it, placed it by the door where she could reach it fast. Isaac saw, nodded approval. You know how to use that? Robert taught me, made me practice until I could hit a tin can at 50 yards. Good. He pulled out a revolver. Old Colt he'd somehow kept hidden through the arrest and auction. 3 bullets left in the chamber. Not much, but better than nothing. They sat on the porch as darkness fell, weapons close, watching the night for movement, for threats, for whatever came next. Anna's heart hammered. This is really happening. They're coming for us. Not yet. But soon, how do you know? Because I've seen this before. Men like Polk, they build up to violence, give themselves permission with prayers and scripture, make themselves righteous before they do unrighteous things. When do you think? Isaac studied the darkness. Tonight maybe, tomorrow. Soon. What do? We stay alert. We don't give them easy targets. And if they come, we make them regret it. Anna shivered despite Isaac's arm around her shoulders. She'd thought buying him would be the hard part. Thought facing Redstone's judgment would be the challenge. She hadn't counted on this. On men with torches and righteousness coming in the night. Tell me something good. Isaac looked down at her. What? Something good from before. I need to think about something besides this. Isaac was quiet then. My sister, little dear, she loved horses. Would sneak out early to ride bareback before anyone woke. He smiled, sad but real. My mother would scold her, say it wasn't proper, but my father would just laugh. Say she had warrior spirit. What was she like? Fierce, stubborn, kind. He paused. Like you, Anna's breath caught. Isaac, I mean it. She had your determination. Your refusal to bend when the whole world says you should. That got her killed. No, Isaac's voice was firm. That made her live fully while she could. The killing was done by men too small to see her worth. They sat in silence, Anna leaning against Isaac's warmth, drawing strength from his steadiness. Finally, she spoke. If they come tonight, if something happens to me, promise me you'll run, get away. Don't let them hang you for protecting me. I won't promise that, Zayak. No, his arm tightened around her. I've run enough, spent 7 years running. I'm done. If they come, I stand. With you. For you no matter what. Anna felt tears burn her eyes. You're going to get yourself killed, maybe. But I'll die standing beside someone worth dying for. That's more than most people get. The night passed without incident. But neither of them slept well. October 20th. 3 in the morning, Anna woke to hoofbeats. Multiple horses coming fast. She was out of bed and grabbing the shotgun before she was fully conscious. Isaac met her in the hallway, already dressed, already armed. They moved to the front windows, peered out into darkness broken by torches. 6 riders forming a semicircle around the house. Reverend Polk at the center, the Harmon brothers flanking him, 3 others Anna didn't recognize. Rough men, hired guns probably, all of them carrying torches despite the hour. Isaac's hand found hers, squeezed once, then let go. Stay behind me, not a chance. Anna moved to stand beside him instead. Polk's voice rang out, amplified by righteousness, and the echo off the barn, Mrs. Hayes. We've come to deliver God's judgment. This is your last chance. Send the heathen away or face the consequences. Anna opened the door, stepped onto the porch with a shotgun visible but not raised. You need to leave, now. This is private property and you're trespassing. This is God's work, woman. You can't stop it with man's law. I can stop it with buckshot. Now get off my land. Polk shook his head sadly. So be it. He nodded to Jeb Harmon. The younger brother threw his torch, aimed at the barn. It arsed through the air, trailing sparks like a comet. And Isaac moved. Faster than a man his size should move, off the porch, across the yard. Caught the torch mid-flight before it could land on dry wood. The crowd gasped. Isaac stamped the torch out, then straightened to his full 7'2". Let them see exactly what they were threatening. Pete Harmon went for his gun. Anna raised the shotgun, aimed at his chest. Don't. Her voice was steady as stone. You're threatening good Christian men, Mrs. Hayes. That's a crime. You're attempting arson. That's also a crime. And I have witnesses. She gestured north where lamplight showed in the Carter farmhouse. Samuel and Grace were watching. Had probably been watching since the riders arrived. Ready to testify to what they saw. Polk's face went red. This isn't over. Yes, it is. A new voice cut through the night. Sheriff Webb rode up, flanked by 2 deputies Anna didn't recognize. Everyone lower your weapons. Now Anna kept the shotgun raised. They tried to burn my barn, Sheriff. I saw Webb's face was grim in the torchlight. Reverend Polk, Harmon brothers, you're under arrest for attempted arson and disturbing the peace. Now wait just a minute, Polk sputtered. I have witnesses. The Carters saw everything. Mrs. Hayes and Mr. Wolf saw everything. That's 4 people who'll testify you tried to burn down a barn with people inside. You can't trust the word of a savage. His word counts same as yours in territorial court. And there's 3 other witnesses who'll back it up. Webb dismounted. You boys want to go peaceful? Or do we do this hard? The hired guns melted away into darkness, smart enough to know when to cut losses. But Polk and the Harmons stood firm. This is an outrage. I'm a man of God. You're a man who just tried to commit arson. Now you can come quiet or I can drag you. Your choice. Polk's shoulders sagged. Fine. The Harmon brothers followed, muttering curses, promising revenge. But going, Webb turned to Anna and Isaac. You two all right? Anna lowered the shotgun finally, hands shaking now that the immediate danger had passed. We're fine, Isaac? Webb looked at him directly for the first time. Fine, good. I'll need statements from both of you tomorrow, and from the Carters. We'll come to town. Webb nodded. Then paused. Mrs. Hayes, I was wrong. Earlier when I told you to send him away, he gestured to Isaac. Any man who'd catch a torch mid-flight to protect someone else's property, that's a man worth keeping. Then he rode off, taking the prisoners with him, leaving Anna and Isaac standing in the yard. Still processing what had just happened, Samuel and Grace Carter drove their wagon over at first light. You two all right? Grace climbed down before the wagon fully stopped. We're fine. Thanks to you for watching. Grace wrapped Anna in a hug. You're braver than you know, child. Samuel shook Isaac's hand. You move fast for a big man. Comes in handy. You saved the barn. Isaac looked at Anna. We saved it. Together. Grace pulled back from Anna, studied her face. You love him. It wasn't a question, but Anna answered anyway. Yes, good. He's a good man. Don't let anyone tell you different. Samuel nodded agreement. We brought supplies. Flour. Salt. Some of my wife's preserves. He pulled a rifle from the wagon bed. And this, extra we had. You might need it. Anna's throat closed. I can't pay you for this. Don't want payment. Samuel's voice was firm. Just want you to know you're not alone. Not everyone in this valley is against you. Grace touched Anna's arm. If you need anything at all, you come to us. After the Carters left, Anna and Isaac stood in the yard surrounded by unexpected kindness. People can surprise you. Anna's voice was soft. Yes, they can. Isaac looked down at her. You were brave last night. I was terrified. Brave people usually are. They just act anyway. They went inside. Made breakfast together in the kitchen that was becoming theirs. The silence between them was comfortable, familiar. Like they'd been doing this for years instead of days. We should tell each other the truth. Anna said it while washing dishes. About what? About what happens if Caleb doesn't stop. If the town turns against us completely. If winter comes and we can't survive. Isaac dried the plate she handed him. Then we leave. Find somewhere else. Start over. You'd do that? Leave Montana? I'd follow you anywhere. The simple certainty in his voice made Anna's chest tight. Even if it meant giving up everything. Everything I have is right here. He touched her cheek. You're right here. That's all that matters. Anna turned into his touch. Let herself believe for just a moment that love might be enough. November 2nd. 2 weeks after the torch mob failed. 2 weeks of uneasy peace. Anna woke to pounding on the door. Middle of the night. Isaac was already moving fire, the Brennan farm. They dressed fast. Rode hard through darkness. By the time they arrived, half the valley was already there fighting the blaze. But the barn was too far gone. Flames eating into the night sky. Heat pushing everyone back. Then the scream. Sarah, Martha Brennan's voice raw with terror. My baby's in the loft. She fell asleep up there. Jacob Brennan lunged for the barn door. 2 men grabbed him, held him back. You can't. The whole thing's collapsing. That's my daughter. Jacob fought. Desperate. Wild, Isaac dismounted. Didn't hesitate. Sprinted toward the inferno. Anna's heart stopped. No. But he was already inside, swallowed by smoke and flame. The crowd went silent. Watching, waiting, praying. Seconds stretched into eternity. The roof groaned. Timbers cracking. Then Isaac emerged, carrying 6-year-old Sarah Brennan in his arms. Both coughing. Both alive. Martha ran to meet them, sobbing. Clutching Sarah to her chest. Thank you. Oh God, thank you. Isaac set the girl down gentle. She's breathing. Scared but not burned. Loke Patterson pushed through to examine Sarah. Pronounced her fine. Just smoke exposure. Anna saw the burns on Isaac's back, the way he favored his left side. The blisters forming where embers had landed. You're hurt. It's nothing. It's not nothing. Sit down. She made him sit on a wagon bed. Started treating the burns with supplies from Doc Patterson's bag. You could have died in there. Someone had to go in. It didn't have to be you. Yes, it did. Isaac's voice was hoarse from smoke. Because I know what it's like to lose a child. I won't let it happen to someone else if I can stop it. Jacob Brennan stood staring at Isaac. This was the same man who 2 weeks ago had wanted Isaac driven out, who'd stood with the torch mob. Now tears streaked his soot-stained face. I don't know what to say. Don't say anything. Just take care of your daughter. But Jacob stepped forward anyway, grabbed Isaac's hand, shook it hard. "I was wrong about you. I'm so damn sorry." Isaac nodded once, then turned to Anna. Let her finish bandaging his burns. The crowd started to shift. Whispers, not hostile this time. Something else, wonder, respect. Martha Brennan approached, still clutching Sarah. "I can never repay you. You don't owe me anything." "Yes, I do." Martha's jaw set with that particular frontier woman's stubbornness. "And I'm going to make sure everyone knows it." She turned to the crowd, raised her voice. "This man Isaac Wolf risked his life for my daughter, and I want everyone here to witness." She looked at Isaac. "You'll always be welcome at our table, in our home, as family." Then she kissed his cheek. Public, deliberate, a statement that couldn't be misunderstood. The crowd's murmurs grew. Not everyone was convinced, but others were softening. Then a voice cut through. Loud, accusatory. "Convenient, isn't it?" Caleb Vance pushed through the crowd. "This fire breaks out, and the savage plays hero? What are you saying, Caleb?" Jacob's voice was dangerous. "I'm saying maybe he said it to make himself look good. Everyone knows Indians are firebugs." Anna stepped forward. "That's a lie, and you know it." But doubt flickered across some faces. Because Caleb was saying what they wanted to believe. Young Ethan Reed spoke up. "Mr. Vance, I saw Mr. Wolf and Mrs. Hayes riding toward town when the fire started. They couldn't have set it." "You sure about that, boy?" Caleb's voice was silky threat. "You want to stake your reputation on defending a savage?" "I saw what I saw." Doc Patterson stepped forward. "So did I. They were on the road, nowhere near here when it started." Caleb's face darkened, but he backed down. For now, the celebration that should have followed the rescue was muted. People still grateful, still in awe of Isaac's courage. But Caleb had planted doubt. As the crowd dispersed, Anna and Isaac rode home in silence. "He's not going to stop." Anna finally spoke. "No, what do we do?" Isaac looked at her in the dawn light. "We keep living, keep working, keep showing them who we really are. Eventually truth wins, it has to. Otherwise, what's the point?" Anna wanted to believe him, wanted to think courage and truth mattered more than money and power. But she'd lived it in Montana long enough to know better. November 9th, 1 week after the barn fire. The whole valley turned out for the Brennan barn raising. Anna and Isaac arrived at dawn with their tools. Found nearly 60 people already there. More than she'd expected, more than she'd dared hope. Jacob Brennan met them, shook both their hands. "Isaac, I'd be honored if you'd lead the heavy work. You know construction better than any of us." Isaac nodded, started organizing the crew, directing where beams should go, which posts needed setting first, and people followed. Even some who'd been at the torch mob. Even Jeb Harmon, released from jail 3 days ago. They worked because Isaac knew what he was doing. Because his quiet authority made sense. Because you didn't argue with a man who could lift alone what took 4 of you. By noon, the frame was up. The women laid out food under the trees. More food than Anna had seen in months. People ate, laughed, started to relax. Jacob climbed onto a stack of lumber, called for attention. "Friends, we've built something fine today. But I want to say something else." The valley went quiet. "Last week I stood with men who wanted to drive Isaac out. I called him names, judged him." Jacob's voice cracked. "I was wrong. He risked everything for my daughter, asked nothing back, showed me what it means to be a neighbor." He raised his cup to Isaac Wolf. "Welcome to our valley." The response was loud, genuine from most. Isaac stood. People waited. "Where I come from, barn raising is sacred. Creating shelter, building community." His deep voice carried across the gathering. "Today we built more than a barn. We built understanding. My hand is open to all who'll take it." Applause. Real this time. Anna watched from the sidelines, heart full. This was what she'd hoped for. Then Caleb Vance arrived late. Deliberate. He sat his horse looking down at the celebration. "Quite a party." Jacob turned. "Caleb, glad you made it. Wouldn't miss it." Caleb's smile was cold, though I'm curious. "How'd the fire start, Jacob? Your barn was insured for twice its value, wasn't it?" The implication hung poison in the air. "That's a damn lie." Jacob's face went red. "Is it? Or did you need the insurance money? And your new friend here helped you collect?" Isaac stood. Caleb met his eyes. "You're good at this, playing hero, making people trust you. But I know what you are. What am I?" Isaac's voice was quiet. "A savage, a thief, a liar." Caleb spat the words. "And when these good people realize it, when they see your true nature, I'll be here to pick up the pieces." Sheriff Webb appeared. "Caleb, you got proof of these accusations?" Just common sense. Common sense says the man who runs into a burning building isn't the one who started it. Unless he's clever. Caleb wouldn't let it go. The crowd shifted. Uncomfortable. Torn between gratitude and doubt, finally Martha Brennan spoke, voice shaking with rage. Get out, Caleb. This is my barn raising and you're not welcome. Caleb smiled. You'll regret this. All of you. He rode off. But the damage was done. The joy had leaked out. People still worked. Still finished the barn, but quietly now. Warily, as the sun set and wagons started leaving, several people made a point to shake Isaac's hand. To thank him again, Grace and Samuel Carter, Ethan Reed, even Doc Patterson's small victories. But victories nonetheless. Riding home, Anna leaned against Isaac's shoulder. Today was good. Yes. Caleb tried to ruin it, but people stood by you. Some people. Not all enough people. Anna's voice was firm, enough to matter. Isaac kissed the top of her head. I hope you're right. 2 days later, the chicken coop burned. Anna woke to squawking. Smoke. Found flames consuming the small structure. Isaac was already fighting the fire. Managed to save most of the chickens. But the coop was gone, and in the dirt, nearby fresh boot prints, 2 sets. Leading from the road, then back again. Someone had done this deliberately. Anna stood shaking. Not from cold, from rage. Isaac examined the scene. Found a kerosene can half empty tossed in the brush. This was a warning. Of what? Worse to come. They rode to Redstone. Showed Sheriff Webb the evidence. He took it all down. Promised to investigate, but his face said what his words didn't. He wouldn't find anything. Couldn't. Not against Caleb Vance. As they left, Ethan Reed pulled them aside. I heard something last night. At the saloon. Caleb was drinking. Talking loud. What did he say? That you two won't last the winter. One way or another. Anna's stomach twisted. He's planning something. Don't know what. But his foreman Hank Coulter was asking around. Trying to hire men for what? Ethan shook his head. Didn't say. But nothing good. Thank you for the warning. Isaac's voice was grim. Be careful. Both of you. After Ethan left, Anna looked at Isaac. What do? We prepare. Move anything valuable to the Carters. Keep weapons close. Sleep light. For how long? As long as it takes. November 15th. Morning broke with frost thick on the ground. Anna was feeding the surviving chickens now housed in the barn when Samuel Carter's wagon appeared. He looked grim. Anna. Isaac. We need to talk. They gathered in the kitchen. Grace had come too. Both of them wearing expressions that meant bad news. The bank's calling in a loan. Samuel handed Anna a document. What loan? I don't have a loan with the bank. Says here Robert took one out 5 years ago to buy breeding stock. Anna stared at the paper. That was paid off 2 years before he died. We have the receipt. Where? With our other documents. At your place. We'll look. But Anna, Samuel's voice was gentle. Even if you find it, Caleb owns the bank. His word against yours. When is this due? End of November. 2 weeks. How much? $200 principal, plus interest. Total of $350. Anna's world tilted. I don't have $350. I don't have 50. Isaac stepped forward. How much do we have? Between us? Anna did quick math. Maybe 40. 45 if we sell the chickens. Not enough. Grace touched Anna's arm. We can lend you some. We have savings. No, Anna shook her head. I can't take your money. Child, this is what neighbors do. And when I can't pay you back, when Caleb takes the ranch anyway, then you've lost your savings too. She looked at Isaac. We need another solution. What solution? We can't create money from nothing. No, but we can fight this legally. If we can prove the loan was forged, prove it was paid, then the bank has no claim. That requires as a lawyer. Lawyers cost money, not always. Samuel looked thoughtful. There's a circuit lawyer, James Whitaker, due in Redstone next week. Will he take our case? If he thinks he can win. These circuit lawyers work on contingency sometimes, especially against corrupt banks. Anna felt a flicker of hope. So we wait, and we pray we can find that receipt. That afternoon, Anna and Isaac rode to the Carters, went through every document Anna had stored there. But the receipt was gone, either lost or stolen. This is bad. Anna's hands shook. Without proof, it's my word against the banks. Then we find other proof. Isaac's voice was calm, handwriting experts. Other documents showing Robert's signature. Something from where? With what money? I still have a few dollars, and the Carters offered to help. Isaac, Anna's voice broke. This is hopeless. Caleb owns everything. The bank, the land office, half the businesses. How do we fight that? The same way I survived 7 years after my family died. Isaac took her face in his hands, one day at a time, one breath at a time. We don't quit until we're dead. And we're not dead yet. Anna leaned into him. Let herself take strength from his certainty. I'm scared, I know. So am I. But we're scared together. That's better than scared alone. November 21st. The circuit lawyer arrived on a Tuesday. James Whitaker, 40, sharp-eyed, carried himself like a man who'd won more than he'd lost. Anna and Isaac met him at his temporary office in the back of the general store. They laid out their case. The loan, the supposed debt, the fact Robert had paid it years ago. Whitaker listened, asked questions, examined the bank's documents with a jeweler's precision, finally leaned back in his chair. This is fraud, clear as mountain water. Can you prove it? If you can find your receipt, yes. I don't have it. Either lost or stolen. Then it's your word against the bank's. And the bank will win. Anna's hope crumbled. But Whitaker held up a hand. Caleb Vance was sloppy. Look at the dates, the signatures. They don't match Robert's hand on other documents I've seen, so we get a handwriting expert. Show the forgery. Discredit the bank's claim. Will that work? In territorial court, maybe. Vance has friends. But he's also made enemies. Push the right pressure points. He smiled. And I know where those points are. What's this going to cost? Whitaker studied them. You don't have money, do you? Anna shook her head. Then we do this on contingency. I win, I take 20% of whatever damages we recover from the bank for fraud. And if you lose, you pay nothing. But you lose the ranch. Anna looked at Isaac. He nodded. Do it. Whitaker extended his hand. Deal. But as they left his office, as they stepped into the November cold, Anna felt the weight of it. 2 weeks until the loan was due. 1 week until court. Everything riding on a lawyer they'd just met, and a case built on proving a forgery. Isaac took her hand right there on Main Street, where anyone could see. We're going to win this. You can't know that. I know you. And I know you don't lose without a fight. Anna squeezed his fingers. Neither do you. They walked back to their horses hand in hand. And if the town stared, if whispers followed, if judgment rained down, they didn't care because they had each other. And right now that was enough. November 25th, 4 days before the loan came due. Anna woke to find Isaac already up, dressed, waiting. Today's the day. She'd barely slept. Kept running through scenarios. What if Whitaker couldn't prove the forgery? What if the judge ruled against them? What if Caleb won? Isaac helped her dress. Made her eat though she had no appetite. Then they rode to Redstone together. The courtroom was packed, more people than Anna expected. Grace and Samuel Carter, Ethan Reed, Martha and Jacob Brennan, even young Daniel Bradley, and on the other side Caleb Vance. Surrounded by his lawyers, looking confident, Judge Morrison presided. Older man, fair reputation. But he'd known Caleb for 20 years. Anna's stomach twisted. Whitaker presented their case. Showed the discrepancies in the documents. Called a handwriting expert, who testified the signature was forged. Produced other examples of Robert's writing that didn't match. Caleb's lawyers countered, said the expert was biased. Said Anna was a desperate widow trying to avoid paying debts. Said Isaac had probably put her up to this. Savage, corrupting white woman, Anna's hands fisted. Then Whitaker did something unexpected, called Sheriff Webb to testify. Webb took the stand, uncomfortable, clearly didn't want to be there. Sheriff, do you recall a conversation with Caleb Vance 3 weeks ago, at the saloon? I might have. Do you recall him saying, and I quote, that Savage and his whore won't last the winter? Webb shifted. Yeah, I heard him say that. Did he say anything else about Mrs. Hayes? Said he'd find a way to get her land, one way or another. Did he mention the loan? Not directly, but he was talking to his banker. They were laughing. Caleb's fur face went red. Objection. Hearsay. But the damage was done. The judge's expression shifted. Whitaker pressed. Called the Carters who testified they'd witnessed Caleb threaten Anta multiple times. Called Ethan who repeated what he'd heard at the saloon. Piece by piece built a case that this wasn't about a legitimate debt. It was about a powerful man using every tool to destroy someone who'd said no. Judge Morrison called a recess. Returned an hour later. I've reviewed the evidence. The handwriting analysis is compelling. And Mr. Vance, your behavior as described by multiple witnesses suggests motive for fraud. He banged his gavel. I'm ruling in favor of Mrs. Hayes. The loan is fraudulent. The debt is void. Furthermore, I'm fining Caleb Vance $1,000 for attempted fraud and ordering a full audit of his bank. The courtroom erupted. Anna couldn't breathe. Couldn't process. They'd won. Against all odds, they'd won. Isaac pulled her into his arms, right there in front of everyone. held her while she cried. Caleb stormed out, face purple with rage. But he was beaten. For now, outside the courthouse, Martha Brennan hugged Anna. You did it, child. Whitaker did it. No, the lawyer smiled. You did it by refusing to quit. By standing up, by making people see the truth. What happens now? Now we make sure Vance can't try this again. I'm filing for a permanent injunction and recommending the territorial governor investigate his bank. Anna felt light, free. For the first time in months, the future didn't look terrifying. Isaac took her hand. Let's go home, home. Yes. They rode back to the ranch as the sun set. November 25th turning to November 26th. And when they reached the house, when they dismounted, Anna turned to Isaac, marry me. The words came out before she could stop them. Isaac froze. Anna, I'm serious. Marry me. Properly, with a ceremony and witnesses and everything legal. You know what that means. The Valley will never fully accept us. I don't care about the Valley. I care about you, about us. About making this official. Isaac pulled her close, kissed her until she couldn't breathe. Yes, yes, I'll marry you, Anna Hayes. She laughed, cried. Both at once, say it again. I'll marry you. I'll stand beside you. I'll love you until my last breath. When? Saturday. Give people time to come if they want. And if they don't, we'll marry anyway. Anna kissed him again. Saturday it is. That night they sat on the porch, planning their future, talking about spring planting, about buying horses again, about rebuilding what had been lost. And in his study, Caleb Vance sat alone, drinking, planning his revenge, because this wasn't over. Not by a long shot, but for tonight Anna and Isaac didn't think about Caleb, didn't think about threats or danger. They thought about Saturday, about vows, about starting something new, and that was enough. November 27th. 2 days before the wedding, Anna woke to find half the Valley at her door. Grace Carter, Martha Brennan, even Mrs. Patterson, the banker's wife, looking sheepish. We've come to help. Grace carried fabric. Martha had flowers somehow preserved from summer. Mrs. Patterson held a basket of food. Help with what? Your wedding, child. Can't have you marrying in your everyday dress. Anna's throat closed. I don't have money for. We know. Martha smiled. That's why we brought everything. Grace sews better than anyone in 3 counties, and I've been saving these flowers for something special. Mrs. Patterson stepped forward. I owe you an apology. I said terrible things, believed terrible things. I was wrong. She held out the basket. It's not much, but it's from my garden. And my heart, Anna, took the basket. Felt tears burn. Thank you, all of you. The women swept in, took over her kitchen, started measuring Anna for a dress. Grace worked fast, skilled hands cutting and pinning cream-colored fabric, not white. You're a widow. But cream is respectable, beautiful. While they worked, Isaac and the men gathered at the barn. Samuel Carter, Jacob Brennan, Ethan Reed, even Daniel Bradley. They were building an arbor, simple but sturdy, pine branches woven through, would smell like forest. Isaac worked alongside them. Quiet, but Samuel kept glancing at him. You nervous about marrying Anna? No. About the Valley's reaction? Yes. Jacob hammered a nail. They'll talk, they'll judge, but you saved my daughter. That buys you more goodwill than you know. Ethan grinned. Besides, half the young women in Redstone are jealous. Anna Hayes caught the most eligible bachelor in Montana. I'm not eligible. I'm Lakota. I have nothing. You have everything that matters. Samuel's voice was firm. You have courage, character, and a woman who loves you enough to fight the whole world. That's more than most men get. Isaac nodded, went back to work. But something in his chest felt lighter. Inside the house, Anna stood still while Grace pinned the dress. The fabric draped beautifully, simple but elegant. You look lovely, child. Grace's eyes were wet. Robert would be proud. Anna's chest tightened. Do you think so? I know so. He loved you, wanted you happy. This would make him happy. Martha added flowers to Anna's hair. Practicing the arrangement, where will you marry? The church? Reverend Polk would never allow it. No, here, under the cottonwood tree where Robert and I used to sit. That's perfect. Mrs. Patterson surprised them by speaking. Romantic even. The women worked through the day. By evening the dress was finished. Anna tried it on. Stood before the mirror Grace had brought. She looked different. Not like a widow anymore. Like a bride. Oh, Anna, Martha's voice caught. You're beautiful. Grace hugged her from behind. He's a lucky man. I'm the lucky one. That night, Isaac knocked on Anna's door. Against tradition, but neither of them cared about tradition anymore. Can I come in? Anna opened the door. Found him holding something wrapped in cloth. What's this? Wedding gift. From my mother. Only thing I have left from before. He unwrapped it. Inside was a necklace, beautiful beadwork in white and blue. Traditional Lakota design. She made this for the woman I would marry. Told me to keep it safe, to give it to someone worthy. He fastened it around Anna's neck. You're worthy of everything. Anna touched the beads, felt the weight of his mother's blessing. He'll treasure this. Always, they stood close, foreheads touching. 2 more days, Isaac whispered. Then you're mine, legally. Forever. I'm already yours, have been since the auction still. Want to make it official, want everyone to know. Anna kissed him. So soft, sweet, Saturday can't come fast enough. November 29th. Dawn broke clear and cold. Perfect autumn day. Sky so blue it hurt to look at. Anna woke to Grace and Martha already in her kitchen making breakfast. The bride doesn't cook on her wedding day. Grace said it like law. You sit, eat. Let us take care of you. Anna obeyed. Let herself be pampered. Let herself believe this was really happening. Outside, Samuel and Jacob were setting up chairs. The arbor stood ready, pine boughs releasing their scent into the crisp air. Isaac was at the carter's place, getting ready. Tradition said groom shouldn't see bride before the ceremony. By noon, people started arriving, more than Anna expected. Wagons rolling up. Families in their Sunday best, Grace and Samuel. Martha and Jacob with Sarah, who wore flowers in her hair. Ethan Reed. Daniel Bradley and his father Doc, who nodded respectfully to Anna. Even Sheriff Webb came, in his formal uniform. And to Anna's shock, Mrs. Patterson and her husband arrived, carrying a wedding gift wrapped in brown paper, but not everyone came. Reverend Polk didn't show. The Harmon brothers stayed away. And Caleb Vance. His absence was noted. Expected. It's 2 o'clock. Time for the ceremony. Anna stood in her bedroom wearing the cream dress, the beaded necklace, flowers in her hair. Grace knocked. Ready, child? Ready. Anna stepped outside, walked toward the arbor where Isaac waited, and her breath caught. He wore new clothes, dark pants, white shirt, vest that Samuel had lent him, hair pulled back, clean-shaven. But it was his expression that stopped her heart. The way he looked at her, like she was the answer to every question he'd ever asked. She walked to him. No music, no formal procession, just Anna crossing her yard to the man she loved. Isaac took her hands, large fingers engulfing hers. You're beautiful, so are you. The crowd chuckled. Soft, affectionate Doc Patterson stepped forward. He'd agreed to officiate. Being a man of medicine gave him some authority in the valley. We're gathered to witness the union of Anna Hayes and Isaac Wolfe. 2 people who've faced trials, who've stood against judgment, who've chosen love over fear. He looked at them both. In frontier country, we make our own rules, build our own communities. And today we welcome a new family into ours. He nodded. Isaac, your vows. Isaac cleared his throat. 7'2" of muscle, suddenly nervous. Anna, when you bought me from that auction, I thought you were crazy. Thought you'd regret it within a week. The crowd laughed. But you showed me what I'd forgotten. That people can be kind, can be brave, can choose right over easy. His voice strengthened. You gave me freedom. Home, family. You gave me love I didn't think I deserved. I vow to protect you, honor you, stand with you, in this world and the next. For as long as breath remains. Anna's tears fell freely now. Your turn. La nodded to her. Isaac, 3 weeks ago I was drowning. In grief, in debt, in loneliness. I didn't know I was drowning until you pulled me out. She squeezed his hands. You rebuilt my ranch, my hope, my heart. You showed me that love doesn't end when someone dies. It just makes room for someone new. Her voice broke, but she kept going. I vow to stand with you, against whatever comes. To love you with everything I have. To build a life together that honors both our pasts and creates something beautiful for our future. Doc smiled. Do you have rings? We do. Grace stepped forward, handed them simple gold bands. Nothing fancy, but real, legal, binding. Isaac slipped the ring onto Anna's finger. With this ring I thee wed. Anna did the same, her hands shaking. With this ring I thee wed. Then by the power vested in me by being the only official within 50 miles. Doc's eyes twinkled. I pronounce you husband and wife. Isaac, you may kiss your bride. Isaac cupped Anna's face, bent down, and kissed her. The crowd erupted. Cheering, clapping, even a few whistles. When they broke apart, both breathless, Isaac lifted Anna, spun her. Her laugh rang out clear and joyful. Mrs. Wolfe. He set her down. How does it sound? Perfect. The celebration moved to tables Samuel had set up. Food appeared. More than expected. Everyone had brought something. Fried chicken, fresh bread, pies. Even a small wedding cake Mrs. Patterson had baked. People ate, talked. The atmosphere was warm. Genuine, Martha Brennan raised her glass to Anna and Isaac. May they have many years together. To Anna and Isaac the valley echoed. Jacob stood and, I want to say something. 3 weeks ago I was ready to drive Isaac out. Ready to believe the worst. But he saved my daughter. And in doing so he saved me. From becoming someone I didn't want to be. He looked at Isaac. You're a better man than most I know. And I'm honored to call you friend. Isaac nodded. Throat working. Ethan Reed stood next. To the bravest woman in Montana, who saw a man when everyone else saw something less, and to the luckiest man, who found a woman worth fighting for, Grace Carter hugged Anna, whispered in her ear, Be happy, child. You've earned it, as the sun began to set. People started leaving, thanking Anna and Isaac, congratulating them, promising to visit. Sheriff Webb paused before mounting his horse, Mrs. Wolf. Mr. Wolf, using their married names deliberately, I want you to know, if Caleb Vance tries anything at all, you come to me. Directly, no more looking the other way. Thank you, Sheriff. Anna's voice was thick with emotion after everyone left. After the chairs were put away and the arbor stood empty, Anna and Isaac stood under the cottonwood tree. Husband and wife. Legal. Recognized. Real. We did it. Anna leaned against Isaac. Against all odds, we actually did it. Isaac kissed the top of her head. This is just the beginning. I know. And I can't wait. December 1st. 3 days after the wedding, Anna woke wrapped in Isaac's arms. They'd spent the past 3 days in blissful isolation, working the ranch during the day, learning each other at night. But this morning something felt different. Isaac was already awake. Tense, what's wrong? Hoofbeats. Coming fast, they dressed quickly, emerged to find Ethan Reed dismounting. Face pale, what happened? Caleb. He's gone mad. Went to the saloon last night, got drunk, started shooting. Is anyone hurt? No. But he was raving, saying you two ruined him, saying he'd make you pay. Where is he now? Jail. Sheriff Webb arrested him. But Anna, Ethan's voice dropped. He's got friends, rich friends. They'll bail him out. And when they do, he'll come here. Isaac finished. Yes, how long do we have? Day. Maybe 2. Depends how fast his lawyers work. Anna looked at Isaac. What do? We prepare. Again that afternoon they fortified, moved ammunition into the house, checked weapons. Made sure the Carters knew to watch for trouble. Samuel rode over with his sons. You need more men. You'll have them. Grace brought food enough for a week. You'll need strength. Both of you. By nightfall, the Hayes Wolf Ranch was ready. Armed. Waiting, Anna and Isaac sat on the porch, weapons close. I'm sorry, Anna said it soft. For what? Dragging you into this. If you'd been bought by someone else, someone without enemies, I'd be miserable, working for someone who saw me as property. Instead, I'm here. With you, fighting for something that matters. He took her hand. No apologies. We chose this. Together, the first night passed without incident, the second night too. But on the third night, December 4th, hoofbeats came, multiple horses, moving slow, deliberate. Anna grabbed the shotgun, Isaac the rifle. They moved to the windows, peered out. 6 riders, torches again. But this time, Caleb Vance rode at the front. He'd been drinking. She could tell even at this distance. The way he swayed in the saddle. Anna. Isaac, his voice slurred. Come out. Let's talk. Nothing to talk about, Caleb. Anna called from the window. Go home. Sleep it off. Sleep it off? Caleb laughed high, unhinged. You cost me everything, my reputation, my bank. The governor's investigating me. All because you couldn't accept your place. My place? Anna's voice went dangerous. My place is here, on my land, with my husband. Now leave before someone gets hurt. Someone's going to get hurt. Caleb pulled his gun, but it won't be me. He fired, wide. Missed the house by yards. Isaac returned fire. Deliberately high, warning shot. Next one won't miss. The riders with Caleb. Hired guns. Drifters. They shifted nervously. Suddenly, lights appeared. From the Carters' place. From the Brennans. From 3 other farms, men on horseback, carrying rifles. Coming fast. Samuel Carter's voice rang out. Caleb. You're outnumbered. Stand down. Jacob Brennan rode up beside him. This stops now. Caleb looked around, saw 8 armed men surrounding him. His hired guns raised their hands. Wanted no part of this. Sheriff Webb appeared. Must have been alerted by someone. Caleb Vance, you're under arrest again. For drunk and disorderly, attempted assault, and violating the terms of your bail. Webb dismounted, took Caleb's gun. This time you're staying locked up until the circuit judge comes back. Caleb stared at Anna and Isaac. This isn't over. Yes, it is. Isaac stepped onto the porch. Rifle visible but pointed down. You lost. Accept it. I'll destroy you. Caleb's voice was poison. Both of you. You can't destroy what you don't own. Anna joined Isaac. We're not your property, not your subjects. We're free, and we're staying free. Webb led Caleb away. The hide-and-that guns followed, hands still raised. The neighbors gathered in Anna's yard. You two all right? Samuel asked. Fine. Thanks to you. That's what neighbors do, Jacob said. We look out for each other after everyone left. After the adrenaline faded, Anna collapsed into Isaac's arms. It's really over for now. Caleb will try again. From jail maybe, through lawyers. But we'll deal with it. Together. Anna looked up at him, always together. December 10th. 6 days after Caleb's arrest. The territorial governor arrived in Redstone, Governor Mitchell. Stern man. Fair reputation. He'd come to personally oversee the audit of Caleb's bank. Anna and Isaac were called to testify. They told their story. The forged loan, the intimidation, the violence. Mitchell listened, took notes, asked sharp questions. When they finished, he sat back. Mr. Vance has been operating outside the law for years. Your case finally gave us cause to investigate. What happens now? We've found evidence of fraud against at least 15 other families. Foreclosures based on forged documents, illegal seizures. He looked at them. You opened the door, showed others they could fight back. Will he go to prison? Mitchell nodded. Yes, federal prison. For a long time, the weight lifted from Anna's chest. It's really over the legal battle, yes. But Mitchell paused. His supporters remain. His friends. They'll resent you for this. Be careful. We will. Isaac's hand found Anna's. We're used to careful. December passed in a blur of work. Isaac finished winterizing the barn. Anna preserved the last vegetables. They laid in firewood, enough to last through the coldest months. The valley rallied around them. Samuel brought hay. Jacob offered to help with spring planting. Even Doc Patterson stopped by with medical supplies. You're part of the community now. Both of you. Grace said it while delivering bread. People see that. They won't forget. Christmas came quiet. Just Anna and Isaac. They exchanged simple gifts. She gave him a new coat. Wool. Warm. Big enough to fit his frame. He gave her seeds for spring planting. And something else, a carved wooden box. Beautiful work. Inside were papers. What are these? Isaac smiled. Deed. I bought the 20 acres north of ours. The ones you had to sell. His voice was soft. From the money we got in the fraud settlement. Now the ranch is whole again. Anna couldn't speak. Just threw her arms around him. Held tight. Later that night, sitting by the fire, she finally found words. How did I get so lucky? Luck had nothing to do with it. You chose bravery. Chose love. Chose to see people instead of labels. He kissed her forehead. That's not luck. That's character. Tell me about your mother. Anna snuggled closer. Tell me what she was like. Isaac was quiet. Then she was gentle, kind, but fierce when protecting her children. She taught me about healing, about the land, about seeing the Creator in everything. He paused. She would have loved you. I wish I could have met her. She meets you through me. Every time I show kindness, I learned from her. Every time I see beauty in the world, she taught me to appreciate. His voice dropped. She lives in how I love you. Anna felt tears on her cheeks. Then she must have been extraordinary. Because you love extraordinarily. January 1st, 1883. New Year dawned bright and cold. Anna woke feeling different. Off somehow. By mid-morning she knew. Isaac. She found him in the barn. I need to see Doc Patterson. Are you ill? No. I think I'm pregnant. Isaac froze. Then slowly a smile spread across his face. You're sure? Not completely. But all the signs. I need to confirm. They rode to Redstone that afternoon. Doc Patterson examined Anna, confirmed what she suspected. You're about 6 weeks along. Congratulations. Outside the office, Anna laughed, cried. Both at once. We're having a baby. Isaac picked her up, spun her. Right there on Main Street, we're having a baby. People stared, but for once the stares were warm. Approving, Grace Carter rushed over. Hugged Anna hard. Oh child. This is wonderful news. Word spread fast. By evening, half the valley knew. The next day, visitors started arriving, bringing gifts, offering congratulations. Martha Brennan brought baby clothes, tiny things Sarah had outgrown. You'll need these. Grace brought yarn. For knitting blankets, Mrs. Patterson arrived with preserves, for when the cravings hit. Even Sheriff Webb stopped by. Congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. Wolf. This valley could use more good families. Anna and Isaac stood on their porch, watching the sun set over land that was finally, truly, theirs 7 months from now. Anna's hand rested on her still flat belly. We'll be parents. Terrifying thought. Isaac's arm came around her. We'll figure it out. Like we figured out everything else. Together, Anna leaned into him, always together. April 1883. Spring arrived with a rush of green. Anna was 6 months pregnant now, moving slower, but still working the garden. Isaac had hired 2 ranch hands. Young men from Redstone, needed the work. Grateful for the opportunity, the ranch was thriving. They'd bought breeding stock. 3 mares and a stallion. Started rebuilding the horse program Robert had dreamed of. Caleb Vance had been sentenced to 15 years in federal prison. His properties sold at auction. The bank reformed under territorial oversight. Redstone had changed, grown. The governor's investigation had exposed corruption, forced reforms. And at the center of that change stood Anna and Isaac Wolf, the couple who'd refused to bend, who'd fought when fighting seemed hopeless, who'd proven that love and courage could triumph over money and power. May brought warmth. Anna's belly swelled. She felt the baby move, strong kicks that made Isaac's face light up every time. June arrived with long days and hard work. The horses were thriving, the garden abundant. Gioli Forth the Valley gathered for Independence Day celebration. Anna and Isaac hosted, tables set under the cottonwood tree. Samuel Carter stood to make a toast, to freedom, to courage, to the family that showed us all what those words really mean. Glasses raised. Voices echoed the sentiment. Anna sat with Isaac's hand on her belly, feeling their child move, surrounded by community, by friends, by the life they'd built. This, she whispered to Isaac, this is what we fought for. Worth every battle, he kissed her to her temple, every threat, every fear. Worth all of it. August 10th, early morning. Anna's water broke. Isaac rode for Doc Patterson. Brought him back within an hour. Grace and Martha were already there, helping, encouraging. Labor lasted 8 hours. Long, painful. But Anna had endured worse. At 4 in the afternoon, a baby's cry filled the house. It's a boy. Doc Patterson announced, healthy. Strong Isaac held his son, tears streaming down his face. This massive man cradling a tiny infant with infinite gentleness. What will we name him? Anna was exhausted, happy. Complete Robert Standing Elk Wolf. Isaac's voice was reverent, honoring both our pasts. Building our future perfect. 3 days later, the christening. The valley came. Witnessed the blessing of Robert Standing Elk Wolf. Reverend Thomas officiated. New preacher, young, open-minded, nothing like Polk. This child represents hope. Proof that love transcends difference. That courage builds community. He blessed the baby. May he grow strong. May he know love. May he honor the legacy of 2 families brought together through trials. After the ceremony, people lingered, talking, laughing, celebrating. Ethan Reed held the baby, marveled at how small he was. He's going to be tall. Look at his father, Martha Brennan cooed, and handsome. Look at his mother. Anna watched it all. Her son passed from person to person, each one welcoming him, accepting him. This was what she'd fought for. Not just acceptance for herself and Isaac, but a world where their son could grow up free, where his mixed heritage was celebrated. Not condemned, Isaac found her watching. What are you thinking? That we won. Not just the legal battles. Not just the right to be together. We won the future. She looked up at him. Our son will grow up knowing he's loved, knowing he belongs. That's everything. That night after everyone left, after the baby was fed and sleeping, Anna and Isaac sat on their porch. 1 year ago today, Isaac said, "What? 1 year ago I was in jail, waiting to be sold, thinking my life was over. And now I have everything. Wife, son, home, purpose." He looked at the stars. My mother said the stars were our ancestors, that they guide us. Do you believe that? I believe something guided me to you, whether stars or fate or the Creator. Something knew I needed you as much as you needed me. Anna took his hand. Then I'm grateful. To the stars, to fate, to whatever brought us together. They sat in comfortable silence, watching the Montana sky. Inside, their son slept, safe, loved. The future they'd fought for made real in his tiny form. And somewhere in the darkness, the valley slept too, changed by what Anna and Isaac had done. Challenged to be better, some would never accept them, never understand, but enough had. Enough to matter. Enough to build a community where their son could thrive. December 1883. 1 year after Caleb's arrest, Robert was 3 months old, growing fast, healthy, happy. Anna and Isaac hosted Christmas dinner. The house full of friends, Grace and Samuel Carter, Martha and Jacob Brennan with Sarah, Ethan Reed, Doc Patterson, Sheriff Webb, even Mrs. Patterson. They ate, talked, laughed. Samuel raised his glass. A year ago we gathered to celebrate a wedding. Today we celebrate a family, a community, a future we all helped build. To the Wolfers, the room echoed. To the Wolfers, Anna looked around the table, at faces that had become family, at the community that had rallied when it mattered. Isaac held their son, bouncing him gently. This she whispered to Grace beside her. This is what love looks like, yes, child. This is exactly what love looks like. That night after everyone left, after the baby was asleep, Anna and Isaac stood under the cottonwood tree. 16 months, Anna said. 16 months since the auction. Best $85 I ever spent. Isaac pulled her close. Best purchase I ever made. We've come a long way. We have. And we have so much further to go. Isaac kissed her. Soft, sweet, whatever comes next, we face it together. Always together, Anna agreed. Above them, the Montana stars shone bright, watching, guiding, blessing. Two people who'd found each other against all odds. Who'd built something beautiful from nothing but courage and love. A savage redeemed. A widow restored. A community transformed. And a future full of hope.